Hi, my name is Isabella Atienza, and today I will be showing you the tool Create a Graph. You can access this website by simply going to Google and typing in Create a Graph. It should be the first thing to show up. Or you can use this hyperlink that will automatically bring you to this page. Before we get started, you should know that there is no login information needed, so anyone has access to this website, whether you're a teacher or student or just anyone in general. And the only version that this website has is the free version, so you have access to everything you need to create a graph in a fun and creative way. Up here are little tabs that will lead you to different places. When you hit the Home tab, it brings you to a welcoming page that tells you what NCES Kids Zone is and what it provides to students and teachers and schools. It also provides you with little fun facts like Did You Knows, Words of the Day, Seeking Your Suggestions, what this day in history represents, and even more to show your students so they can learn new things, or even you as a teacher can learn. When you hit the Tools tab, it will lead you to searching a school page, and you can find a school, whether it's public, private, or even a college. And if you wanted to, you could hit the Map It, and it'll show you a navigator of where your school is at, and you can even go to your school if you really wanted to. When you hit the Graph tab, it'll show you the main page that will help you create a graph. It gives you a Help and Examples tab, and it gives you the 5 graphs that you can create with this website in general. And I'll go into depth about each of these when we come back to this tab. When you hit the Dare to Compare tab, it's a page where the website will create its own quiz for you depending on what subject and grade you are in. So you can choose a certain subject from these, and then you can also choose a grade and a number of questions, and the website will provide you with a quiz so you can test your students on what they know and what they don't know already about the subject that you are teaching. When you hit the Grab Bag tab, it will lead you to a page that is full of different types of things you could show your students. There are games, quizzes, videos, and word searches, and it's also very nice to show your students this page because it gives them an opportunity to have a brain break after learning so much data. So students will have more fun after learning a bunch of data if you take them to this page, because it's kind of like giving them a break after them processing all the data that was given to them. When you click the Chances tab, it will lead you to this probability game where you can enter in a number of rolls, and once you roll the dice, it's like shows you what the dice actually land on and then what your score was compared to others. And it's again like a probability game, and it's kind of like a brain break so kids can have fun while learning different types of data and information. Anyways, to get started, you're going to want to click back on the Graph tab, and on the side right here, it'll tell you what graphs and charts are used for, and they are used to communicate information visually. It'll tell you why NCES constantly uses graphs and charts, and then it'll show you the 5 different graphs that we will be using today, and that the 5 different graphs that this website provides for us. Oh, and it also provides you a little tutorial video. Anyways, in the Examples tab, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it provides you different examples on like how you could use this tool. So you can make education graphs, you can make fun graphs, statistics graphs, or any type of graph in general, depending on how you want to display information. Anyways, to get started, we could choose any type of graph we want depending on what you teach. So there are bar graphs, line graphs, area graphs, pie graphs, and XY graphs. Let's do bar graphs. And you can obviously change if you want to. It doesn't matter what graph you use. But if you want to make a specific graph, then you can obviously choose a different one. But you are going to have access to these new tabs to your left, and I will explain what each of them have in them. For this tab, it's called Design, and you can fix the direction of your bars, so it can be vertical, horizontal, any way you like it. You can decide its shape, so the bars in general, you can make it a rectangle, a cylinder, whatever you like. And you can also design the background and the grid color, and you can decide the grid lines that you would want and its appearance and then the positioning. It's different for each graph actually, because if you were to do a pie graph, you wouldn't have this sense of direction, you would only have style, and you wouldn't have shape either because a pie graph is just a circle. So it's different for each graph. It just depends on which one you choose to use. In the Data tab, you will put all your information here. So you can put your graph title, you can label your axes, and then right here is a data set, and it just tells the website how many items and groups you will have, so it can arrange this right here. And what this is you will label what your items are, and then you will say its value, and you can even like name the group, you can choose its color, and then a min value is the minimum value you could have, so like 0, and then the maximum value is the maximum value that you could have for this graph, so like maybe 100. The Labels tab will let you design the fonts of your labels and what your labels look like, so you can change its color, you can show what kind of values you want to have for your table. So if you don't want to just display the number, you can make it into a percentage or a percentage of category, whatever suits you. This also depends on what kind of graph you have. So series name and category name, this isn't in the pie graph. If you were to use a pie graph, you wouldn't have access to these because it just depends on what kind of graph that you are using at the moment. But you will have access to choosing what kind of font you want, what font color, and the font size. In the Preview tab, you can preview your work so far. So if you constantly want to see how your graph looks to make sure it's perfect, you can hit the Preview tab and you can see what it would look like after it is done. And it's pretty cool if you want to make sure everything in your graph is right and precise. And then finally, the Print and Save tab. This is where you will print, download, copy, or email your graph to a certain place so you can have your graph, or you can start over and erase the graph. It all depends on what you want to do. If you're making the graph for fun, you can obviously start over or erase, but if you want to save or print something, then you would have to print, download, copy, or email your graph. The thing about this is, because there's no login information, it doesn't automatically save your work, so you would have to get all of your graph done in one sitting period, or else you would lose all your information if you were to X out of the website. And that's the only really bad thing about this site, because it would suck a lot if you worked very hard on a graph and all of a sudden you accidentally clicked one of these, because if you were to click one of these while you were creating a graph, you would lose all your information. Something you should know about this website also is if you want to hit update, you can obviously, and it'll update your graph automatically, and then it's kind of like the Preview tab, but it'll update it really fast and you will be able to see what your graph looks like automatically. But other than that, it's a really cool site. Any teacher can use this, like I said before, or anyone in general can use this. But if you are a teacher, I would suggest if you are like a science or math teacher, that this is the site for you, because in science and math classes, students are exposed to a lot of information, and what way to show information than for it to be fun. So you could create a graph that is eye-popping while showing information, so students will find it creative and cool while learning the things that they need to know. I actually made an example, and this is what it looked like. I labeled it "What Kids Do Over the Weekend" as its title, and I used the percentages, and I used different colors. I used a different background color, and each color represents a certain category. So the most kids I said like to do is hang out with friends, so that is represented by brown. But yeah, you can make a graph, any type of graph that you would like, and it displays data, and obviously to me this is eye-catching because it's using a lot of colors and the font's big, and it's just a nice way to show data because it really gets your students' attention. I hope that this helps you while you're teaching or displaying information, and I hope this video helped a lot. Thank you.